talk to. And so I told my friends, like Lil and them, I said, this is the man to call, because at least he fights for seniors for our Social Security rights and Medicare rights, and I can tell you that firsthand, because he literally saved my life.
Well, my gosh, 2 introductions, right? How do you beat that on a Sunday? Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My gosh, Cynthia, say thank you, and Adam, thank you for the kind words. I will keep this short, but first, thank you for being here. You know, all of us candidates get sick and tired of talking to each other, so it's always nice to talk to people. So we wouldn't be able to chat much if you weren't here, so thank you for being here. And I always start off everything I say by thanking God for another day of freedom in our country, that we actually can show up to places like this and talk without being persecuted. So, you know, so that being said, I'm going to give you the 30-second background about me, on who the heck I am and where I came from, and then maybe about a minute and a half of some legislative stuff, and we'll get the rest of the candidates up here, and anybody else hanging out and sit here, we'll sit down and chat some more. So, born and raised in Michigan, graduated from Michigan State University with honors in marketing and business law, and my brother and I started a sports marketing company in Michigan. I moved to Arizona in 2001, and after 9/11, I knew I wanted to do something different. You know, when I moved out here, I ran a marketing division for a glaucoma medical research company, and now actually in a weird kind of way, I'm the director of a talent agency in Phoenix. So when I'm not at the Capitol fighting off lobbyists and Obamacare supporters, I'm at a talent agency trying to get people booked in TV commercials and magazines. So it goes like this. But I knew I wanted to do something different in my life. I didn't know what it was, and for some reason God placed politics. And I said, maybe I can use you there. So I said, okay. And in 2010, I decided to run for the Senate. And I never ran for any political office ever before. And maybe ignorance was just bliss, because had I known what I was getting into, things might have been different. But I challenged Rebecca Rios, as some of you might know, Pete and Rebecca Rios. They held that Senate seat for about 30 years. And everybody said, hey, you're doing what? And running against who? I said, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. And not only did we win, we won pretty substantially. And subsequently, I became one of the youngest senators in Arizona history, and I became the first Republican senator in our districts and statehood. So it was actually but of course I give credit to God. However, this is what helped me win the election. It was people like you, because we can only go to so many places and deliver a message or tell you what we believe in or what we want. But we need you. We need you to go tell your neighbors, tell your husband, tell your wife, tell your kids. Hey, are you getting politically involved? Well, here's who we met, and here's who we think is a good soundboard. How many of you actually get calls from your neighbors or so whenever early ballots show up in the mail? Hey, Fred, what do you know on this list? A lot of us do. And you're the ones that actually help put people like me here to represent you. And I can only tell you how humble and honored I am to serve you both in the Senate, and I ran for the House of Representatives in 2012, which again, humbly, I say thank you for electing me to that position. And now, of course, I'm running back for the Senate. And the reason for this kind of back and forth type thing, every 10 years when they have the census, they chop up your district. And we were in the largest district in the state when I was in the Senate. And they chop. So we all got moved around, and that's why I'm running now again in the Senate. What used to be District 23 is now our District 11. So that's what I'm doing. And you'll see on my campaign signs, I stand for God, family, and country. That's what I believe in, and that's what I fight for. If anybody here, interaction time, who in this room considers himself either a strong Republican and adheres to the Republican principles or conservative? Okay, without looking, I think that's almost everybody. If you're looking for that, if you're looking for this conservative type of leadership, if you're looking for Republican principled leadership, I will tell you, not because I said it, but I've been scored as the #1 conservative principled Republican in our state. And that's been by the Goldwater Institute, That's by the Arizona Conservative Coalition, and that's by the Open States Project, a national project. Funny story about that, I'm going to segue. The Arizona Republic picked up this article. So the Open States Project is like this big national organization that says, hey, we're going to rank every legislature in the country and find out where people stand. And the Arizona Republic did an article about it a few weeks ago, and they said, the Open States Project did their survey, and the results are ... completely unsurprising. Because Steve Smith is ranked as the #1 conservative in Arizona. They're the named champion of the taxpayer by Americans for Prosperity. They're the ones that look out, nonpartisan group that look out for our public benefits in terms of who's wasting our tax dollars or who is not. And I was given the highest designation, champion of the taxpayer. A+ rating by the NRA. Friend of the family, which is my pro-life, pro-traditional family message. And so, again, I don't say those things to boast. I say them so you don't have to believe what necessarily I say. Believe what others have stored and said for me. When you look at our signs, I'll end on this, you'll see that we're endorsed by both Sheriff Paul Bayview and both Sheriff Joe Arpaio in our campaign. That's for Mark Vince and I. And I think we're the only people in the state that have both sheriffs endorsing our campaign amongst many others. I will be here, so if there are any questions, concerns, comments, complaints, I will be here. We're going to be at Cynthia's afterwards too, but I also want to, you're going to hear from in a second, our two teammates. For the two House seats, you'll see Vince Leach and Mark Fincher. You're going to hear from them. The three of us are running as a team, and the three of us have opponents. Mark and Vince have an opponent in the House, and I have an opponent in the Senate. My opponent is Scott Bartle, and their opponent is a woman named Joe Grant. I will tell you,